against. We've seen it before where Doinby starts to flex into different champions in his pool, the likes of the Cassidans, the Azirs, these late game scaling carries that we're not used to. Now we're looking over towards Khan as the top lane carry, which is again a different aspect of FPX. So I want to see how Tian will try to play towards Khan. And this means as well, we don't see a huge amount from Crisp in this game. Crisp usually likes to roam in the early stages of the game, but when you've got the Kai'Sa in the bottom lane against the Nautilus and Kalista, Crisp is much more tethered to the bottom lane to help out LWX.
And in the past, for LWX and Crisp in their 2v2 lane, when Crisp stays in lane, it's been pretty dangerous for the opposing team, but Max shows up big here. Y4 coming in, it's Halo Blades on both 80 carries, and the invade begins. 3 people on the blue buff, LWX and Crisp are just backing away. Well, for Tian, you talked about him focusing the top side. Well, this means he's probably going to split the map and get his priority lane.
And it works well for FPX here. I'm actually surprised to see V5 go for this. The Xiao Han is splitting to try and help out bottom lane, but Tian wants to play towards top, so he's happy to have this split go ahead and allow Khan to punish on the top side. This is the second series in a row now where I've seen Xiao Han go for this late invade into splitting the map towards bottom side, and both series I've not been a fan of it because oftentimes the enemy team wants to play towards the top side, and this is what we're seeing again.
And you can see that he was spotted out by a ward, returning back to his red side. Doomby's doing the same. So a lot of information gathered here from FPX tracking this V5 jungler. Doomby just walking into the red buff as a set, and hello there, Xiao Han. Spotted out, as now the trade in the top lane, not good for Mole here. Can't looking for the vital, and I tell you what, Mole is just weakened.
Welcome back to the top lane, Mole. Khan says hello, and Tian is already here for the dive.
And you know what? We're talking about this in Champion Select. FPX changed when Khan came into the roster, as Doomby taking his own versions of the trade through the mid lane. Now he loses out, but the health regen passive should be okay to bring him back up to speed. Tian, meanwhile, zoning out this top wave. Mole against the Turret Cocoon, doesn't land, but the damage is there. Easy does it. Khan, a big welcome back to you.
And I don't know why V5 opted to give this to Mole. Mole was trying to let it come in towards the turret, but with Tian already on the top side, Lee's perfect in these tower dives. Mole was always going to lose out there, and very surprised, as I said, V5 allowing this to happen by that late invade.
And with the pressure through the top side, let's not forget the other solo lane in FPX is influenced. Doomby is now crushing over CLX. 10 CS lead, and he's going to force the teleport out here, while Tian has roam still now towards the river. And that teleport we're talking about right back into lane. Doomby, note as well, in this lane does not have the teleport, but the wave in a good position, so he can back now.
And you can see as well, Tian making his way back over. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, not good if Tian was there. That's going to delay the back of Doomby, and CLX will spend the time in lane.
We can get Xiao Han on this bottom side of the map. Is giving pressure to Y4 and Max, but realistically, LWX and Crisp are happy to just farm underneath this turret. We said already, when you're Leona and Kai'Sa playing against the Nautilus and Kalista, you don't win this lane at any point in time. So what you're trying to do is just play far back, try to pick up the CS as you go. So having Xiao Han babysit this lane hasn't changed the dynamic at all, and Crisp isn't going to try and roam at any point in time because of the dual lane matchup. So nothing's gained from V5 right now as a result of this play.
Ooh, but everything in the top lane to take for FPX. Level advantage with Mole 20 CS behind. Walking up to the wave is suicide.
This lane is obnoxious to play against as Mole. So as Khan, you can either use your Q to dash around from the Darkened Blade on the opposite side.
But now Tian in the bottom side, cleanse away from Y4, easy summoner taken. And a bit of electrocute off the back of it as well. So Tian just roams to the bottom side, which is shut out in the early game, just to get it back.
I'm looking at the inventory. Is Y4 not connected to Max yet?
He's not.
No.
Maybe he wants to connect to Xiao Han at some point. Who knows? But never mind that, because Mole is just dead. Or at least close to. Ha! Tricked ya. Khan with the second kill. And you see what happens when FPX have this top laner in the roster. A lot of priority top as Doomby has to flash in the mid lane. Meanwhile, that's the first meaningful trade for V5.
But this is the beautiful thing for FPX. I mean, how much resources have actually been given to Khan? It was one tower dive because Etienne was forced onto the top side of the map regardless. So it's kind of a, oh, I'm just passing by. I suppose I'll grab something for on the way past. And Khan now is in a great shape. He's got 2 kills, a Cole underway as well.
The
So he just
Tiamat
knows.
and Cole. I mean, this is just such a good back coming through. Or at least a couple of backs, I should say. 25 CS advantage. Mole finally getting the shove in wave as Dragon goes down.
It's a Tiamat to a Dorn shield. That's how far ahead that Khan is right now. And when Khan is capable of taking over this entire side lane, FPX's 4-man unit can start to just play keep away with some of these objectives. But at the moment, with the way the V5 have set up, with CLX really strong on this side in skirmishes, Xiaohan having some advantages over Tian in these early game fights, V5 will pick up the first dragon. But once we start to get to, you know, the 3rd, 4th, that's where FPX 4-man unit will actually look to start fighting V5.
Because we saw before, Doomby roaming down with Tien just after that dragon play. More likely to secure vision here as Tien is now towards the bottom side, deep in enemy jungle, and Max caught out here, has to flash. He was looking to clear wards, thought he had priority bot, but FPX are going to make sure they never do that again.
Doinby's here, Tian is here, and don't forget, Doinby can tear one of these members out from underneath the turret.
And Max just burnt flash, remember, Cocoon goes onto the priority target, Y4 is jumped on immediately, great ult from Doomby, the shield to dodge the turret aggro, or rather hold it. Even Khan came in with the TP. Everyone's dead from V5, and now LWX and Crisp are accelerating.
And they can start to get some of these turret plates back, use the gold that they've just picked up off of that play, and start moving towards the Rift turret if they would like to. Although I think at the moment, if I'm on FPX's side, just trying to keep this game under wraps at the moment, give time to Khan to scale up and punish Mole in this lane a little bit harder, and also give more time to LWX to scale would be the better option here and avoid the Rift turret.
I mean, look at this. Y4 and Max, as they move up, it's like, okay, cool, maybe we can get something here. They haven't shown yet. Mole is going to back away. Level 5 on this Aatrox to level 7. Khan just TP'd down, and he's still got that level advantage. He's still got everything against this top lane of V5.
It means there's 5 people of FPX around this Rift Herald because Mole has gone towards the bottom side. No teleport available. So even though we said FPX wouldn't fight for this, they might try to with the numbers advantage, although Khan is back.
Backing for now. But as you mentioned before, to punish that 1v1, to take the advantage against Mole, Khan is constantly matching him in the side wave. And the Rift Herald uncontested here. V5 poked their head out a little bit, but decided against it in the end. And you can see why LWX has double pickaxe, looking towards the early Q upgrade, the extra bit of damage, versus Berserker Greaves and Y4 and double dagger.
So the Berserker Greaves are actually quite strong in the Callista because you need to get your second round of boots to have the longer hop, and the increased attack speed means more Ren stacks, which is perfect for the Callista. So I think, honestly, V5 might have been able to look to go for a fight there, but they decide against it. Now FPX, who were already in a commanding position to begin with, are going to be able to double down on that with the scaling in the FPX favor.
Because as we know, with FPX, they do not slow down. 3k gold ahead, 9 minutes in, they're looking for a top dive. This is warded out, but Y4 and Max want to turn. I don't think so. Tien ends up landing the Cocoon, looking for the engage. Doomby's coming in fast as well. 4 people on Max, and yeah, that's a rookie error there. He shouldn't be looking for the engage. FPX already.
Tien looks so good on that play as well. Quick sidestep of the hook, and has managed to pick up the kill alongside it. And Tian is a player for a long time, kind of went a little bit under the radar in LPL because he came in onto Suning originally back in 2018, but was left aside for Hacker. Now he's found his home on FPX and has looked absolutely stellar since coming onto this roster.
Remember, he didn't have a starting position. Tien and Doomby made their debut as a duo in 2019 spring. And FPX, kind of the legend, was born then. Now, for a lot of our viewers out there, you see us talking a lot about FPX, and it's because V5, their story this split, has been a team of like rebuilding, remodeling, and playing between crazy side lanes. Who's where is what we said. I'm not going to have time to do this because Grand Challenge is out. Khan onto Mole once again, a good dodge away. But that threatens Mole here with the World Ender, and the CS lead continues. 30 at the moment here for Khan, who's got a long sword but nothing more, but the pressure in the bottom lane with Crisp now roaming around.
If V5 are remodeling, they're an interior designer's worst nightmare. They've got different people playing different positions at all points in time. Different champions are coming out.
Oh.
I got a little bit worried there for Max.
Because Y4 did it as he backed.
Yeah.
And so Max's back stopped. That was a bit risky, but so is Mole being in the bottom lane. Good dodge away from the Cocoon here. Can Mole survive? Nope. No, he cannot. This is a slaughter. This is an absolute slaughter here from FPX.
And now Khan can get more gold into his back pocket. They turn over towards this dragon as well to make sure that they're starting to get the dragons in their favor. And this punishment that we're seeing from FPX is starting to ramp up. Blade of the Rune King completed for Doinby. LGBUX has just completed the Manamune as well. This is fantastic play from FPX.
And it came from the back of Tien in that early game. Look, we're going to see bottom left. If you didn't know before, your Oathsworn doing that when they're backing will stop them. And Max gets trolled a little bit there.
I like the way he decided to test it with Doinby in the lane as well. It's like, hey Doinby, in case you wanted a support, here he is just lying dead on the ground for you.
To be fair, one of the least fed members, I guess, on the side of FPX, so
Yeah.
worth the risk in a way. LWX now testing against Y4 here in the mid lane. But coming back to it, this early game from Tien has been stellar. And what I tried to say in the start of this game is that FPX have been looking towards this top lane a lot more. When Khan came into the roster, FPX said, let's go top instead of bot. We don't see those bot lane dives as much anymore. But this game, we're getting a bit of a sample of both, as we saw Tien in the bottom lane, who enabled LWX and Crisp as well.
And this is what I hoped to see from FPX when Khan entered, but Doinby.
Max has found himself right next to Xiaohan, and Doinby does so much work. Y4 to save the day, but back on in. Oh, okay, double TP, maybe for V5 they can get their first fight here. Flush away as they find the Soul Flare as well. Doinby might be in a bit of trouble. He gets dragged back in, gets a good haymaker, but V5 with the first kill of the game as Tien looks for the counter engage. 5 people here still grouped up, still alive. Khan is pushing and didn't have TP for the fight, so at least V5 got something.
This was V5 trying desperately to make a play work and try and get the tempo back in their favor. But when they only go even in the 4 versus 5, well, Khan is able to get the turn on the bottom side, and now the tempo is even more heavily in favor of FPX.
Well, stopping the backs here is going to make sure of that here for LWX. Wave going to get shoved mid, turret plating still available for another solid minute. And Khan just took the turret by himself. Look where he is now, in a turret on the bottom side. This Ravenous Hydra Fiora. How do you deal with that? Look how much in CS he's up by as well, 55.
The answer is you don't, Asterix.
Mole getting tested as a top laner right now.
No way to try and deal with Khan right now. And this is why I was hoping to see this style of play from FPX when Khan entered the roster. Because I feel like Khan doesn't take away from Doinby being a carry on this team or having this 4-man dive on the bottom side. I feel like it just gives you another avenue to play towards on the FPX roster.
Dear Lord, Y4 has to cleanse away. Tien, however, getting traded back nicely, but Summoner down off a cooldown once more.
Because Khan for me is what Gimgoon is plus more. Because Gimgoon is like the wall in the top lane. It's really difficult to take anything off of Gimgoon. He will play your weak side, will play it very safely, but still be good in these team fights.
Solar Flare flushed away from though. Meanwhile, for V5, getting tested throughout this bottom lane duo once again. And further on your Khan point, as we see him really trying to bully the 2-level down Aatrox. He's been playing pretty damn well. He's a challenging top laner. And the grand challenge has been laid down here onto Mole. Now, even without the ultimate, can't notice he's level 11, Mole level 9. Phage in hand as well, so chase potential just got worse.
That's what I'm laughing at here, is that Max was level 7 too. I wasn't sure they won that fight if they went for it.
You wouldn't think so, would you? Going to be stealing away Doomby's ult here for CLX. As gold on the left-hand side, Crisp has more than Xiaohan, Mole, and Max. Not often you see a support on top of the majority of a team, but this game, with all the global gold FPX have gotten, has led them to a 7k gold lead and another Rift Herald here, which is going to be drop mid.
I was about to say, it's going to end up being a little bit higher now because they can get control of this mid lane and crack the last remaining outer turret. This becomes so much more difficult now for V5 to control because Khan, when he gets the wave in order, can start to pressure onto the tier 2 while you've got Doinby off in a side lane. And it's really hard as well for FPX to not lose against
They
V5.
might have called out Doomby. The ult user reverse showstopper as the Haymaker comes through as well. Y4 gets a great Fate's Call, and for V5, a fight they have no business taking. Could be winnable until Khan comes in. Separates tears them apart, and V5 now have to deal with this big fed Fiora. No way, Jose. It's a 4 for none. FPX take all.
Riposte sets up Max to go down, and Mole is the only one left standing. And now FPX can look to take more turrets for themselves. I was going to say they go towards the Baron, but we're only 15 minutes into the game, Hysterix.
It definitely doesn't feel like we're 15 minutes in. A 10k gold lead. And FPX, they've had quick games before. They've had a 19.5-minute game. I believe it was versus Suning. But this is just showing you how far ahead they really are here.
And Max thought Doinby was alone, but you see the second he goes on to the set, everyone on FPX comes out of the woodworks and is able to turn this around. This play might have worked if it was back a few minutes ago or we were on a more even footing. But the problem is FPX are 10,000 gold ahead at this stage.
1600 bit of turret plating. Khan took a lot by himself in this solo lane. And to give credit to V5 there, you're right, if gold was even, that's their fight to win. But unfortunately, V5 fell so far behind in this early game. They've got no option now. Max is now face-checking into Doinby, but he's got a bit of support. How long can he take as he pops the ulti back onto Max? Doinby has the Haymaker shield available, pops it in, forces Max away, almost takes down Xiaohan. But that's 3 people for 1.
It's 3 people for 1. Yes, they'll get the tier 1 in the top lane if they want to, but they've lost both tier 2s, bot and mid, and potentially inhibitor turrets as well now as FPX are collapsing.
With Crisp and LWX, this inhibitor turret is getting knocked down pretty damn fast. Now, it's not a perfect game, but it feels pretty close here for FPX. And we're going to highlight on Tien. We said it before. This jungler's early game really set up the snowball that looks unstoppable.
And it's mad to think how long Tien has just been so strong in Chinese League of Legends. Even from the age of 13, he was Diamond 1 on the Chinese Super Server. He has only grown since then and has now made himself a world champion on FPX.
There's a discussion I was having with some of the cool members of the community, how the Young Miracles world buff, right? And the junglers from this team just seem to be so good. We start with Ning. We then move into Tien, 2018, 2019 World's MVP. Let's not forget, Wei is from that team on E-Star, and everyone's like, E-Star Golden Worlds 2020, maybe.
And Wei is the substitute jungler from that roster. Sixu is actually on E-Star as well, who was the main jungler on that roster. So this is just Young Miracles. Seem to have a knack, whatever the hell is going on, at picking up unbelievable
Don't forget XLB or Xiaolong Bao from
Exactly,
RNG, also from Young Miracles. So I don't know what PDD is feeding the players, but we got some really good junglers in League of Legends. And, you know, Tien right now sitting at top of the jungler ranking list. Still that World's MVP of 2019. And you look at Khan, he's experienced in his own right. Now going to take the grand challenge. CLX drops his own. Depth charges there. Great block. The flash away from Khan. Gets the movement speed. He's taking on 3 people. He's almost killed CLX.
Whoa.
He's close. But CLX walking away as the finals are there. No, it's a Fed Fiora. Please stop at V5. You're losing the game.
They're losing the game. They're losing the fight. It's all gone south. And FPX are going to end.
I mean, there's 3 people here. Max tries to defend, but it will be for the last time. This was a slaughter. It really did feel like first versus 17. And as FPX look for the dive here, and Crisp will die. But LWX lives on, and the damage comes through with the Bear Nexus. 19.5 minutes. That's as easy as you'd like. FPX, they definitely look like world champions.
Oh, what happened to V5 in that